Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to F1 RL, the Fast Ones Racing League. I am Will Manu, of course. Fraser is taking a break. Sadly. But we're here. Taking a little bit of break, having a romantic holiday with his girlfriend, I believe, that's now fiancé. So big congratulations to the one and only Mr. the Jamaican Bacon. So big congratulations to that. Hope you're having a brilliant holiday. But we are here not for that. We're here for the racing action out in Saudi Arabia. That was our mystery track. There wasn't much of a mystery. But Saudi Arabia is currently wet in qualifying here. This is our grid so far. 12 drivers, potentially 13 is on the way. Being pencil up nose, if you can figure out how to get into a car, that is at least. But yeah, we do have Papa Varuz in the Alpha Tauri, or should I say the Red RB Cash App. Elite Shots in the Haas. Parallel Harry Hazard. Big boy. I think Parallel Harry's Hazard anyway. Not too sure. But big man in the Red Bull sitting in P4 currently. Of course, no one's set a lap yet. A couple laps will be set very shortly. Nova is in the Alpine. Brilliant hosting today. Once must I say. So congratulations to him as well. He's done a brilliant here. Lucas inside the Williams. Williams haven't been very strong since the departure of me from the team. Of course, we did have 3 constructors back to back to back. And maybe it was even 4. I'm not too sure on the 4th one. But 3 or 4 constructors championships. They have dropped off a lot since the retirement of me. Even though it was forced. But anyway. Williams currently sit, I believe, let me just double check with my notes. I believe it's 8th in the Constructors' Championship. Let me just double check that anyway. Standings, here we go. Okay, no, so Williams currently sit not in a bad position. Currently in 6th place on a grand total of 80 points. Of course, the drivers for the Williams will need to improve a lot here to get some points on the board for the Constructors' Championship. They are currently 29 points away from Alfa Romeo, who are in that current 5th place. But it's a big battle out front, especially for these 2 drivers. Parallel Harry and Smithy, who are both fighting for the championship here. Parallel Harry has a lead going into this championship, currently on 170 points, and Smithy on 156. As I'm going to quickly send Pencil Up Nose another invitation real quick. But yeah, we do have currently equal constructor points standings for the Red Bull and the Mercedes Petronas team here in Fast Ones Racing League, both on 209 points. Alpine sit pretty in 3rd on 153 constructors points, and McLaren in 4th on 137 points. But the real battle out front is between Night Owl, Smithy and Hazard. Night Owl on 142 points, Smithy on 156 and Hazard on 170 points. Going into round 10, who is going to be the fastest out on track? Currently it is Smithy, who's setting a nice time there of a 140 as the rain is easing up here in Saudi Arabia. The rain, of course, not that high, or not that high pressured anymore. Elite Shots yet to set a lap. To cross the line now for P6, 142.4. A lot of these drivers might be running dry setups, as I believe it is dry in the race, as Nova has now retired. I believe that's on track as well. Let's just get the track map up so we can see it indeed was on track. I believe that the Williams of Raul Gorski, no, Williams and Lucas has just passed it. Incident back there. Same with Jacob LG, I think that is, or Jacob. Not too sure on the pronunciation there. But our only Aston Martin driver currently on grid sat in P6. Pensalobnos has managed to get into the lobby as well. So that is good news for Alfa Romeo here to get some good points across the boards. Hopefully. In theory, there's good points across the board at least. Smithy is continuing to set faster laps. And Paolo Harry has just gone one up on that. It's not only a battle between Xbox and PlayStation. Red Bull and Mercedes. Controller versus controller. It's a very even field here between these two drivers. Who has the better setup though? I'm not too sure. Whether Smithy has his dry setup on or whether he has his wet setup on. Same with Parallel Harry. Not too sure. But it'll be interesting to find out once we get into the race. But of course we are on the F1 23 game still. F1 24 is currently out for content creators that are part of the EA Creator Network. Sadly, us as a league aren't quite on there yet, but hopefully soon, once we get access to F1 24, we will be racing on there. Of course, a lot of speculation is going around currently about F1 24, but I'm sure eventually we will be on there. My views on F1 24 so far, after playing the beta, which I'm not really meant to disclose things about, it felt pretty good, but from what I've been hearing from other people that are playing it now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, put it that way. But I'll find out very soon. I believe in 6 days now, or something like that. Maybe 5 days. Not too sure. Monday or Tuesday next week. I'll be on the game, and then I'll know for sure whether if I like it or not. But a lot of people are saying the handling is awful. But at the same time, the handling might be awful just because they're not used to it. It could just be a skill issue at the end of the day. But from what I'm hearing from esports drivers and people of that caliber, it's refund worthy. Put it as a quote. Refund worthy. Not a quote from my mouth. A quote from others. But Shaney has now took the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, or of the Grand Prix qualifying I should say, with a 1:36.322 on the intermediates, and that is a crash there from Shaney. If it's going to dry up in this session, I don't think that's going to be a time that will put Shaney in a good position. That is for sure. Smithy knows it's time to box off of those wet tyres now. I think Paolo Harry also knows. He is in the pits. Viper has gone P2 now. There's Williams going slow. It isn't going to be Raul Gorski. It's going to be Lucas. Preparing for a hot lap. Warming the tyres, I believe. Sorry if you can hear any bashing in the background as well. I believe that is someone trying to cut down a tree, stabbing a shovel into it. Not too sure why. I said I'd do it later on, but they're doing it now. Doesn't matter. Night out in P3 in the McLaren. Pencil up nose goes P4. Smithy dropping down the order a little bit. Our Aston Martin driver goes P3 here with 1:37.385. Some competitive times showing up now. 5 minutes 30 seconds left of qualifying here in Saudi Arabia, in our Jeddah circuit, which is looking very plain on this game. Can't wait for its lift in F1 24 with its new graphical enhancements here. It will be a very nice track. Aston Martin driver goes purple sector 1 here. Is he going to be looking to improve? That is the question. Purple sector 1. Will it be a purple sector 2? Let's ride on boards. It is a purple sector 2. Keeping very close to the exits of the corner. Hitting the apexes very nicely there from the Aston Martin driver. And now it will be a race to the finish line. But it's into the pits there for Jacob LG. I believe that's what it is. Jackson. Juxakaba LG. Yep, that's the one. That is not the one. Anyway, Lucas goes P3 with a time that is actually quite nice on the intermediate tyres of 1:37.127. Viper in the pits. Smithy on an outlap. What can Smithy set? Will he be more than 2 seconds faster? And by the looks of it, there is no rain out on track. It'll be up to these 3-4 drivers now that are on track to clear up the racing line from water, from the puddles. Of course, track temperature is high around Saudi, so the track will be drying fast. So I think we will get some soft running laps here, as we have a little battle here between the Mercedes and the Williams there. Purple sector 1 for Smithy anyway. But I think he will be into the pits this lap for some soft tyres. If he isn't, I'll be surprised. He's going to have to put in some fast quali lap there to get into the pits and then maybe back out in time for a run on the soft compound tyres. But everyone that is in the pits right now is chancing it. But the Aston Martin driver has now gone out onto those soft tyres. I think that is a little bit early for the Aston Martin driver there. But will Smithy make it into the pits and then back out? It's going to be close. You want to leave it late out on track so you can get a good lap in on the soft tyres. Smithy hasn't decided to go into the pits though. He has stayed out on the intermediates. Goes purple, goes fastest, but there's drivers out on track. DRS is now enabled as well. I think Smithy might have messed this one up here in Saudi. Paolo Harry is also on intermediate tyres. Could we see P1 and P2 in the championship, starting further back here than what we expected. Are they both trying to do a last to first challenge, potentially? I'm not too sure. But is anyone on the soft tyres? I don't think so. Neokyo is on the soft tyres, setting an outlap currently. Anyone else on a lap that's on soft tyres? Lucas on soft tyres on an outlap. I think that's a little bit too late though, because I don't think you're going to get around in time. 30 seconds of the session left. I don't think it's enough time. Here we go though. Smithy goes pole, provisional fastest here. But we have some soft runners starting their laps now. Our Aston Martin driver starts the lap strong. The question is the track warm enough? Is it dry enough for the soft tyres? It looks dry enough. It looks potentially like it has the temperature in them. Paolo Harry goes provisional pole with a 1:31. Our first driver to cross the line will be Papa Varus here. Then it will be the Mercedes of Smithy, who needs to get out of the way of that Aston Martin pretty soon here. On board with the Aston Martin. In the toe of the Mercedes driver. In the dirty air. Smithy will need to get out of the way. Does so nicely. Now what can the Aston Martin driver set? Going to the line. It's fast. And it will be provisional pole here. Can Night Owl beat it? Night Owl goes for pole. Pencil up nose. What can he do? To the line in qualifying. It won't quite be pole, but it is P3. And Paolo Harry finishes off the qualifying with not an improvement. That was quite an interesting qualifying there. Of course, a lot of drivers caught out on the intermediate tyres. The intermediates though, they're fast. 1:31 there for Paolo Harry and a 1:32 for Smithy. Our championship 1 and 2 start 5 and 6 here. No, I read that wrong. They start 4 and 5 in Jeddah. Night Owls on pole. Pencil up nose in P3. And our Aston Martin Jacob in P2. Well, it's all to play for here in Jeddah, underneath the night lights of Saudi Arabia. It's all to play for, but who will come across as our victor here today? I'm not too sure. I've got a feeling it could be Night Owl. However, I don't know if the pace is quite there from the driver in the McLaren. Drivers are now on the grid anyway. It is going to be a dry start to this race here. Will it remain dry though? I'm not too sure. Things I hope are on the F1 24 game there for the spectators, knowing what the weather conditions are like in the race before the race starts. But what the drivers are adjusting their setups accordingly, picking their tyre strategies. I do just want to mention, we're in round 10 here. There's not many left to go. And our championship is a measly 20-something points between the two drivers out in front. our Constructors' Championship on level points. But it will be 5 lights, and it's lights out and away they go here. Around Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Paolo Harry having a good start. Smithy having a good start as well. Can Pencil keep his nose in there though? Can he keep in the fight here? He looks to have given up the position to Smithy there. As Paolo Harry is now hunting down the back of this Aston Martin driver. 2 Williams swapping places down towards the back. Looks to be a little bit of contact potentially with Nova there. And it looks to be potentially a spin there with Elite Shots dropping down the order a little bit. But there are moves being made left and right currently. Smithy on the back of Paolo Harry. Just behind it, a little battle going on between Papa Varuz and Pencil Upnose. Both a little bit antsy to get the position done. But they are getting it done. And they are fighting. These cars are going fast here. I don't know if it's just me, but it almost looks like they're sped up. Almost 3 wide going into the final corner of the first lap. The drivers have kept it clean though so far. This is where you don't want to be in the back of the tow. Heating up the engine, losing that top speed. Night Out sets the fastest lap so far. As almost 2 wide going into the first set of corners there between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Neokio and Elite Shots both given 3-second time penalties there for corner cutting or track limits. Papa Varuz also picks up a time penalty there. But Night Out still remains the leader of this Grand Prix. Whether he has the pace or not, who knows. Let's see the tyre strategies of the drivers here. So here are our tyre strategies here. It's a mixture of all 3 compounds out on track. As Paolo Harry is slowly keeping up and creeping up to the back of this McLaren here. Potentially a move down into the final corner there for the Mercedes driver. Smithy, a little bit of wheel bashing. Keeps the car under control. Loses a little bit of time to Paolo Harry. But now down the inside, Smithy goes. Can he make the move stick? It's going to be tough. Slots back in behind the Red Bull there. Doesn't quite make the move on the Red Bull. But he is trying. And that is Pencil Upnose going a little bit wide there. Having now a battle with Shaney in the Alpine. Can Pencil potentially get the position back here though on this straight section of corners? Coming up into one of the slowest corners around Saudi now. Now onto what I like to call the straight corners. As they do have a slight bend, but not quite enough to be a corner. The gap is closing there between the Alfa Romeo and the Alpine, but it's not quite enough. And we have seen Paolo Harry take the lead there. As this helicopter cam is amazing. Down the inside, Smithy tries it once again. On the Red Bull here. DRS enabled for both cars. And they are both going to overtake Night Owl here. Smithy looks to regain the lead and has gained the lead there. Alpine going for a little bit of an ambitious move there on the McLaren. And that is in the wall. Big crash there big crash, and that will bring out the safety car. That has saved Raul Gorski there. And that is a big crash the stewards will have to take a look at. Did the McLaren leave enough space there? Was it an ambitious move? I'm unsure, but Pennswap has now been given a drive-through penalty, speeding under the safety car. I wish we had replays, because that was a big crash. In fact, I might be able to get a little replay of that there from the Twitch channel. Let's see if we can get that up. We can. Let's have a little look at that quick replay to see what actually happened there, and we'll have a quick dissect of it as well while these cars are driving around. Let's quickly do this, and then this. Oh no, you don't want my voice in it. You know, I'll get back to that. Cars are in the pits here from P6 downwards by the looks of things. Pennswap knows won't be able to serve his timed penalty in the pits. Of course, has to serve it while not on the safety car. So that will be very unfortunate there from the driver. Getting caught out under the safety car, it does happen a lot, and it sucks when it does happen. That is for sure. But one thing we do have now is the little replay of that. So let's quickly get that up. Three wide, the two Aston Martin. And that is not the right clip. So let's cancel that off and get the right clip on. Here it is. So what actually happened going into that? Do we have... We don't have it. Never mind. We don't have the clip. So we won't be able to play it. We just have the safety car period. That is a shame that it didn't create the full clip. We could have had a nice little replay there. But we don't.
I do. I just can't remember.
Let's get back onto the chat Twitch. So here we go then. The safety car period will be over very shortly. As soon as Raul Gorski catches up to the safety car, I believe we will be running once again here. The front five deciding not to pit. Of course, a lot of them on the medium compound here. Especially, well, I say a lot of them, two of the drivers on the mediums, three of the drivers on the hards. Not deciding to pit for newer, fresher tyres. So it could be close. Lucas could make a lot of ground here, especially on the likes of Pennswap nose, due to being on those soft tyres. But that was a big crash back there. 3 cars into the wall, 1 with damage. Unsure if the rest of them got damage or not. But unfortunate to say the least. That is for sure. Actually, we might have a clip here. We might have a clip of what happens here. We do have it, but I'm not going to show that because that is something for the stewards to have a look at. That is not a replay clip that I can play here. As I will quickly mute the Xbox notifications because I am being spammed, as you can see. Or as you might not be able to see. I'm not too sure. Okay, safety car should be in this lap here. Safety car in this lap, hopefully. We will find out very shortly here if it is going to be in this lap or stay out for another lap. The debris shouldn't be that bad, but it is going to be in this lap. So we will have 19 more laps of racing here in Jeddah. Maybe 18. I'm not too sure. I'm never good at counting this stuff. But Smithy yet to pit, Viper yet to pit, both on the mediums. Parallel Harry yet to pit on the hards. Night Owl also yet to pit on the hards, and the Aston Martin driver of Jacob also yet to pit on hard tyres. And we are away anyway, down into the first corner. Everyone's kept it quite clean. The Haas of Viper trying to make a move there. And we do have a Ferrari around there in the back. It is going to be Neokyo. And there is yellow flags up ahead. And there's damage. We can see the damage. And that looks to be Viper into the wall there. Papaverou's taking measures to avoid the back of Ronald Gorski there in the Williams. But that will bring out another safety car. We didn't quite have anything on that one. No cameras were visible to pick up any crash there. So once again, will have to be looked at by the stewards. We like to promote clean racing in the Fast Ones Racing League. We don't like dirty racing. So any dirty racing will be looked into by our wonderful stewards, might I add. Our wonderful stewards, they're very good at their job. They always make sure to give out penalties where penalties are due. And when the championship is this close, we want clean drivers on track. The leaders have now boxed, at least two of them have, or some of the pack has towards the front at least. We have now seen Night Owl, as well as Smithy, as well as the Aston Martin driver of Jacob all go into the pits now for some newer, fresher tyres. Hards for Smithy, and the two other drivers have gone medium. Raul Gorski also into the pits now on medium tyres, and Papaverou's onto some soft tyres. The Williams driver of Lucas though sitting pretty in P3 currently. Those soft tyres have worked for the driver very nicely. Pencil still needs to serve his drive-through penalty, I believe. So of course that P2 will not be held for much longer. Needs to do it ASAP. As soon as safety car comes in, if I was him, I'd be in that pits serving that drive-through penalty. Because another safety car could well and truly bring him back into the race after the drive-through penalty. In fact, I would have probably served it after the first one straight away. Just so potentially this safety car could have brought him back into the race here, back in points contention. But now he's going to be so far last. It's going to be down to pure determination if Penswabnos is going to want to get himself back into this race. Ethan, I'm not sure if I'm allowed, but I will have a quick look at it just to see. But I won't be able to comment on it while here. Ooh. Okay. I'll leave it as that. I'll leave it as that. That's from my opinion. Just a bit of an all. Safety car though. The drivers are bunched up, so it could well and truly be in this lap. On lap 10, we could see the drivers driving off into the sunset, or driving off into the moonlight once again here. Or maybe we couldn't. Who knows? Who knows? Okie dokie then. Lap 9 of 25. Lap 4 of being behind a safety car, I believe. Let's just double check on some statistics that I will rely on here to clear up some awkward silence. Here we are then. So currently there has been 2 crashes in this race, and that is not the end nor the start of this. Who's banging? Can you calm down, please? I'm trying to commentate over a racer. What the hell? Anyway, so we do have 2 more races remaining in the calendar. After this race, it will be down to the wire to see who has got the nerves, who's got the bottle. And safety car will be in this lap here. Paola Harry and Penswabnos will lead them through the first set of corners. If I was Penswabnos here, I would be in to the pits this lap, coming around to it. Paola Harry leads into turn 1, followed by Penswabnos, followed by the Williams of Lucas. Almost 3 wide there, going out of turn 2. As I've now picked up the hiccups, and Nova gets a little bit of a corner cut there. Smithy overtakes Nova down around the outside there. The Ferrari going a little bit wide there. Neo Kyo, Smithy in behind, overtakes the Ferrari. Not too sure what exactly happened there, to be honest. But the Aston Martin now side by side with Nova. Backs out of the move there, knowing that there's some tricky corners up ahead and the Alpine could make a mistake. That is a Williams in the wall of Raul Gorski. And he's trying to fix his car to get it back running on track. No safety car will come out for that incident there. Side by side here, Paola Harry and Lucas. Of course, Lucas on the soft tyres, Paola Harry on the 9-lap-old hards. Similar tyre wear is going to be happening between these two, but the softs will have that little bit of an edge, and it's looking like they have that edge here. Paola Harry behind the Williams, Penswabnos into the pit, and the Williams driver leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix for the That's the first time a Williams has led a race since last season, I believe. So a big congratulations to Lucas for getting into that position. I could be wrong with saying that stat, but I believe I might be correct there. Elite Shots down in 4th, trying to catch up to Smithy. Smithy and Parallel Harry, the 2 championship 1 and 2 in 2 and 3. The 2 championship contenders, 2 favourites to win, both battling it out now. It will be a matter of who has the better tyres and who needs to pit. Of course, Smithy has already made his 1 pit stop. Those hards can definitely go till the end of this race. So, with that, can Parallel Harry potentially pit onto a faster compound tyre? And he needs to by the looks of it, because he's losing a lot of time here on those 10-lap-old hards. And it will be a move down to the outside here. Can Smithy make it stick around the outside? Almost forced into the wall, has to back off there. Great defending from Parallel Harry. Smithy now down the inside though, in towards turn 1. Parallel Harry moves to the outside. Smithy gets the move done. Can Parallel Harry get the switch back? No, Smithy parks it perfectly on the apex there. Keeps the position. Neokyo having a little race of his own here. On his own. The Aston Martin Jacob is slowly catching up, but not quite enough. Smithy 1.3 away from Lucas. Lucas, of course, needs to make another pit stop on to probably medium tyres if he has some available here. Because I don't think those softs are going the distance. And Smithy is just proving that point that he is on the faster, newer compound of tyres. Might not be the faster compound of tyres, but he's definitely on the more fresh compound of tyres. Under DRS is a purple Sector 2 there for Smithy. Smithy is proving why he's the most dominant driver this season. Parallel Harry though, now being overtaken by Elite Shots. Probably needs to box this lap. Won't box this lap. Stays out for another lap. The whole time he is out on track, the more time he is losing. Smithy overtakes Lucas. This could be a big power play here for Lucas if he can stay within that DRS gap. Save the tyres a little bit. Allow the DRS to carry him that a little bit extra further. But Smithy has already broke DRS in 4 corners. What a racer Smithy is. Purple Sector 1 for Smithy. Once again, yellow flag. And it's going to be a safety car. That has played nicely into Lucas's hand as well as Parallel Harry's. Lucas could probably box onto another set of softs and go the distance, but mediums will be the one, I believe, for Lucas here. And I think mediums will be the one for Parallel Harry as well. Pencil up those, another 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Pencil, lads. Why so many penalties? It's left and right. It's 5-second penalty to pencil up those at this point. Pencil is the new Ocon of the league by the looks of things. Getting penalties for every corner he takes. Smithy into the pits then. Lucas into the pits. Parallel Harry into the pits. Elite Shots into the pits. Jacob, our Aston Martin driver, into the pits. Night Owl will also follow them into the pits. Pencil up nose will probably follow them into the pits. And will follow them into the pits. Neo Kyo follows them into the pits. Rauer Gorski Will he follow them into the pits? It is unknown to us yet. But wait, is that damage on the front left end plate? There is damage to Raul Gorski's front left end plate there. So that will be affecting his pace around this track. Damage to the front left isn't what you want to see, especially on an F1 car around Jeddah. So Raul Gorski will be slow. So Night Owl will have to be a little bit patient when around some of these corners, just to make sure he doesn't crash or make contact to the back of that Williams car. But Lucas is sitting pretty here in P2. Almost a little bit of brake checking happening there between the drivers. Just testing each other, letting them know they are there and they are ready to race. If Lucas can somehow win this, I believe it will be the first Williams win this season, and it will be the first since Will Manu took home the championship. I say Will Manu took home the championship. I took home the championship, let's be realistic. It will be the first win since I took home the championship in the last season we did before the Icon Series. So hopefully the Williams driver can do that. I'd love to see a Williams out on top. Doesn't happen very often. Normally it is Mercedes, Red Bull in most leagues and in real Formula 1. This season, of course, it's been Red Bull McLaren, as well as Ferrari. But we did have that dominance of the Red Bull Mercedes, and we have that in league racing in 9 out of 10 leagues you go to. Under safety car though, we have a Williams in P2, a Mercedes in P1, a Red Bull in P3, and a championship on the line going to the final 2 races by the looks of it. If Lucas does keep P2 here, it will mean a drop of points for Parallel Harry, and that won't be good considering the gap between Smithy and himself. Of course, Mercedes and Red Bull both on 209 points constructor-wise. It's looking tough out there. It's looking competitive out there. 1 Mercedes driver, 1 Red Bull driver. Who will be the better drivers out on track? Who knows? Who will help bring that Constructors' Championship back to the rightful teams? I do just want to mention as well, Andy Moore wasn't able to participate in today's races. I'm unsure what the reasoning is, but Andy Moore hasn't been able to be here for today's race. But I'm sure he will make it next week, as he is still fighting for a place within that top 10 of all the drivers here. I believe he sat in 9th. No, he is sat in 12th or 11th on 39 points, joint with Elite Shots. And Elite Shots is currently sat in 4th, so we'll get a nice points return here from this race. But it is safety car in this lap, so enough talking of the points here. Off we go. Racing to the line. When will Smithy go? A little bit of weaving to warm the tyres up. And he has gone. And Lucas has got a really good start there. And there's a crash behind, then it's Neokyo in a wall. off of the safety car, restart, and I think it's another safety car. No, it's not. It's just stuck on the screen. Anyway, Paolo Harry has got past Lucas there. So Lucas, the Williams driver, has switched off for a second. Can he get back in this fight for a podium? Or will he defend for that P3? Of course, it will be a podium nonetheless for the Williams team if they can make it onto that into that first front free order. Smithy, though, nearly 1 second out ahead. Paolo Harry 1.1 behind. Lucas dropping time to this front two. 8 attempts now behind sits the Williams driver. Elite shots right along the rear side of the Williams here. Looks to try and make the move down the outside, around the outside. He's trying to stick it. Very brave there from the Haas driver. The Williams gives the Haas the room. Respectful racing here. Who's got the better front speeds? Or front speed, top speed? It looks to be the Williams. And holding the inside line down into turns 1 and 2. The Williams will stay ahead of Elite Shots there in the Haas. And it is just a catch-up game. Can the Williams catch up to the rest of the pack? And that is Elite Shots crashed. I'm not too sure what happened there. Front left tyre off. Must have hit the wall. Of course, any incidents, send them into the stewards. The stewards will be looking at it. And penalties will be given out. But wow, another safety car. It's a virtual safety car though. Not too bad. Of course though, that is going to help the front runners here. Especially since Nova, Raul Gorski both have old tyres. This will help Smithy as green flags have been given. And Smithy's now 2 seconds ahead of Parallel Harry. Is this the end? Hold your breath and count to 10. Smithy is 2.2 seconds, 2.3 seconds clear now of Parallel Harry. DRS is now available. Parallel Harry into the pits here for another set of medium tyres. And a new front wing. Smithy now 3.5 seconds clear of the nearest car. And there is going to be one serious battle here for P3. The Aston Martin driver of Jacob, Pencil and Night Owl all fighting for a chance here at the podium. Let's ride on board with Pencil here. Cuts the chicane. That will not be good if a penalty is given out. Surely a warning was given out there. But the Aston Martin driver seems to just be getting in that DRS and keeping hold of the position there. The Pencil is fast. And with DRS enabled, he's slowly catching the Aston Martin driver. If he can get a good exit, not quite as good as the people ahead. But that will be the Aston Martin driver of Jacob overtaking the Williams there of Lucas. And down the inside there goes Pencil up nose. A little bit of contact. Pencil dealing with the oversteer. And that has played Night Owl through. Will to will. And there's a spin. Contact's made. A reset to the tracks happens. I'm not sure if that's allowed in the rulebook. Night Owl though, ahead of Pencil. Lucas behind Jacob. Can Lucas get back into that second place? It would be nice to see. But of course, when it comes to retiring, I believe all drivers out on track will get points no matter what now. Especially under the new points format. So, hopefully no driver retires out on track for no reason. As long as you cross the line, you're guaranteed some good points from here on out. I say the new point system, we've had it all season. But Smithy is leading now by nearly 4 seconds to the Aston Martin driver of Jacob. Lucas under DRS now. Looks to make a move down the inside. Backs out of it last second. Good driving there from the Williams driver. Needs to keep these corners clean and fast here to have a chance at getting this P2 here. This is our closest battle out on track between the Aston Martin driver and the Williams. Smithy is just gaining more and more time on the cars behind. Paolo Harry looks to be nowhere near in this race, and this will allow Smithy to catch up in points going into the last 2 rounds of the Icon Series. It's going to be close towards the end. I can already taste it now. But that is the Williams overtaking the Aston Martin there in arguably one of the worst positions to overtake on this track, because now there is a DRS straight that the Williams driver is going to have to defend down the inside into that first corner. But the Aston Martin driver has not quite got the gap closed enough to try and attack that. Lucas remains P2 here with 4 laps to go. Lucas just trying to gain a little bit of gap there on the Aston Martin driver, coming up to the next DRS point. I believe DRS was there, and that will bring out a virtual safety car. I'm not too sure on how it is brought out, but now I am. Raul Gorski is missing that front wing. That front wing is completely gone on the Williams car. Papa Ruse, do you have damage? No. Nova, do you have damage? No. Paolo Harry, do you have damage? No. Pencil, do you have damage? I'm guessing no. As the Alfa Romeo crosses the line, and no damage. That is visible. So it is just Raul Gorski losing control of the car. Green flags are now back. We are back to racing. And Jacob has caught the Williams driver sleeping a little bit there, closing the gap from 1.2 seconds down to 7.5 tenths. Of course, that is now increasing. But we have seen it close. And now Paolo Harry has overtaken Nova in the Alpine on lap 22 for P6. He's got a long way to go. Just saw Smithy out on track through the track edges, I guess you could call it, through the fences. You can just about see his car every now and then where the track gets so close. Can hear the roar of the Mercedes engine, but cannot see it anywhere near in the distance, as there is nearly a whole 2 sectors now between. There's a whole single sector of track between Smithy and Parallel Harry. The championship battle is going to be close going into round 11 and 12 here. As Raul Gorski has now retired from the session. I'm unsure how that's happened. I could not see the car. Maybe we'll be able to see it from Parallel Harry's onboards. But I think the stewards have cleaned it up. I think it was just parked on the exit there. That is a shame for Raul Gorski. After racing a decent lap. What time was pole? I'm not actually sure. But it wasn't that fast. I know that because we had a wet qualifying. It did turn dry towards the end. But I think it might have been a 1:30 something CFX. It wasn't very fast. I know that. Lucas though, in P2, I think for the first time this season, a Williams driver could make it onto the podium here. It'll make me very proud if a Williams driver can make it onto the podium, especially in that P2 second place. I never got a second place in my career, only first and thirds, and maybe a couple finishes inside the top 10. So I'd be doing me proud and the Williams legacy proud if Lucas can finish in that P2 spot. But out in front we do have Smithy, who is just the GOAT this season, smashing every barrier that's came in front of him here, especially today in Jeddah. The Aston Martin driver on the back of the Williams here. Now this is going to be a tight battle here between these two drivers going in towards the last lap. Maybe a switcheroo is needed here for the Williams to keep this position. Or maybe the battery's just that high enough. The Aston Martin driver behind the Williams. 4 tenths is the gap. 3 tenths is now the gap. We've seen this angle before in Jeddah. The Williams versus the Mercedes. Now we're going to see it. The Aston Martin versus the Mercedes. Or Aston Martin versus the Williams, should I say. But I don't think the Aston Martin has the pace here to catch up with that Williams. Under DRS though, anything can change. But I think that gap is just a little bit too big. Aston runs a little bit wide there. Let's quickly swap back to Smithy, as Smithy will cross the line here for a race win in Saudi. And the Williams will come home for P3 after a penalty. What a shame. But great racing nonetheless there from our front three. Night Owl will come home to take P4. Pencil will take P5. But there is a little battle here going on. But Pencil backs out. So Pencil will get P5. But won't get P4 on the victory lap here. Paolo Harry comes home P6. A disappointing race for him today in the Red Bull. And Papa Varus will come home in 8th. Nova will come home in 7th. Spinning across the line. Picking up a 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. But Papa Varus, here he comes. Last car to cross the line. And that will be our finishing order. Providing stewards penalties. Or not including stewards penalties. But a big congratulations to Smithy here for winning the Jeddah Grand Prix round 10 of the Icon Series. Closing the gap on the Red Bull. Increasing the lead of the Mercedes constructors. And a big congratulations to that Williams driver sat on the podium. Also, a big congratulations to the Aston Martin driver for getting that P2. Well-earned podium. Well raced from the front three here. And here will be our final order. Smithy in P1, taking home the victory. Starting 5th on the grid, comes home and takes the victory. Jacob in the Aston Martin comes home, starts 2nd, finishes 2nd on a 2-stop. Lucas, in my opinion, driver of the day, starting 10th, finishing 3rd on the podium, picks up a penalty in the last lap. What a shame to come 3rd. Could have had a 2nd place, but still a brilliant race from him. Night Out in P4. Good points along the board. Pencil Up Nose in P5. Paolo Harry in P6. Nova in P7. Papa Varus in 8th. Raul Gorski in P9. Elite Shots in P10. Neokyo P11. Viper P12. And Shaney P13. Of course, the bottom 5 or bottom 4 did not finish. No, bottom 5 did not finish. Well, what a race it has been in Jeddah. I've been Winners Manu. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to follow, like and subscribe on the YouTube VOD, and join the Fast Ones Racing League Discord. We are looking for drivers. But yeah, we'll see you 7 o'clock next week, Thursday, for round 11 of the Icon Series. Goodbye, guys.